There is an unseen hand to me.
The Ole Miss Women's Council really, they're doing great things because I don't think women have had a large voice at Ole Miss until recently.
Our program has three legs, three-legged stool. We have leadership, we have mentorship, and we have philanthropy.
Leadership, particularly about how do you create leaders for the future and people who are going to give back to the university.
When I talk to the students and visit with them and meet with them, they all tell me about things that they've gotten to do as a Women's Council scholar, meet with a mentor in their chosen field that ends up being a critical part. It's nothing to us, but it's a big deal to a student that's new and hasn't been exposed to a lot of different things.
We want to take that person and develop them and move them along and show them that philanthropy is how they should live their lives. Philanthropy is learned. So we want to show them as an 18-year-old and through their 21, 22, ways that they can give back $1, $10, $1 million. You know, it doesn't matter. It's how you make that impact. And I believe that's what sets the Ole Miss Women's Council apart.
Ole Miss plants some pretty amazing fertile seeds in the journey that is your student years here, so that as we become Ole Miss women, we can kind of tend those seeds and see them grow and make a difference.
There are wonderful women involved with the Women's Council, and they have vision. And they have maybe probably a little bit of a vision that some other people don't have. And I think that they have a bright future in front of them, because what they want to do is to leave a footprint. They want to make a difference, and they want to make sure that the kids on campus that deserve an opportunity get it.
Charles Overby is a newspaperman. As a boy, he delivered the Clarion Ledger to homes in Jackson, Mississippi. As a student at Ole Miss, he became editor of the Daily Mississippian. Professionally, he became a reporter and editor and executive with the Gannett Company, the largest newspaper publisher in the U.S. His leadership helped earn the Pulitzer Prize for the Clarion Ledger in 1983. But at the pinnacle of his success, Overby was at the center of the news in our nation's capital. A friend of presidents and pundits alike, Charles Overby was chief executive officer of the Freedom Forum for over 20 years. He was instrumental in building the Newseum in Washington, D.C., and the founding of the Diversity Institute to bring more minorities into the newsroom. But equally important, Charles Overby is a gentleman, a family man. Charles Overby has traveled the world, but he's still a Mississippian. Today, as part of his legacy, he chairs the Overby Center for Southern Journalism and Politics at Ole Miss. For Charles, his story begins at Ole Miss.
From the day I set foot on the campus at Ole Miss, I said, this is where I am going. I wanted to be editor of the Daily Mississippian, and I wanted to move on from there. But I thought Ole Miss had what it took to catapult somebody like me, somebody who knew nothing, knew nobody, but if you could do it at Ole Miss, then you could do it anywhere. And you know, it's turned out to be pretty much like that. 68 was the year I was scheduled to graduate from Ole Miss. 68 was the year I knew I wanted to go to Washington, and I really wanted to work on Capitol Hill. And John Stennis came to Ole Miss, and I had an opportunity to meet him. And I let him know that I wanted to come, and that worked out. And so I got that job before I got out of Ole Miss. Well, I had an opportunity to cover some campaigns and cover the Republican National Convention where Richard Nixon was nominated in Miami Beach. And then I got married, and then we went to Washington. So I just didn't get the degree. But I said, I'll get it. I never got it. I was class of 68, but I want you to know I'm still in the class of 68, because when I was 68 years old, I took 6 hours that allowed me to get a Bachelor of General Studies, And I'm now in the class of '68 with a degree from Ole Miss.
And continues with the university he loves.
Well, having my name on a building at Ole Miss is about the pinnacle of anybody's hope or dream. It's just beyond anything I would have ever imagined. I was against it. I didn't think they should do it. But now that they've done it, I'm not asking them to take it down. I like going back to Ole Miss and talking to young people. They see that name on the building, they see me. What I like is to remind them I'm not dead yet, just because my name's on a building. And of course I enjoy teaching. I teach every fall with Curtis Wilkie. And we always teach about presidents and the press. And there's a lot there that shapes both. And we have a good time doing that. You know, I think I enjoy walking across the campus at Ole Miss more now than I did when I was a student. When I was a student, I was consumed with being editor of the paper or wanting to be editor of the paper and thinking about who I was going to be and where I was going to go, who I was going to marry, and had all those things back then. Now I just soak it all in. I just enjoy it for what it is, and equally important, what it was to me and what it's been to our state. And that's why Ole Miss is like, I mean, it is sacred ground. And when I go there, it just is not like any other place in the world. And I've been a lot of places in the world, and there's no place like Ole Miss.
The Legacy Award was created to honor someone who epitomizes mentorship, leadership, and philanthropy. I have also gained two friends out of this, Charles and Andrea Overby. I've learned more about them, their humble spirit, and I'm walking away from this dinner knowing that we have honored a great man.
I am so honored to be selected and surprised and chagrined even, because the past honorees have been megastars. To pick a lowly journalist is something that shocked me, but if it is to honor the people who pursue journalism and who care about Ole Miss as much as the Ole Miss Women's Council does, then it just makes that honor all the more special to me. It just couldn't be a better honor.
One of the reasons of our success this year has not only been the support of the Women's Council and our constituents, but it has also been the support of Dean Will Norton, who's over the journalism school, and we would certainly like to recognize him and thank him for all of his efforts.
I think anybody who talks about their legacy is probably already thinking too highly of themselves. So I don't presume that I'll have any legacy, but to the extent that anybody looks at me and thinks about what I did, I think the real thing is that if I could do it, a poor guy from West Jackson, then anybody can do it. If hard work, really focusing on your dreams, that is the kind of legacy that people who went to Ole Miss provide year in and year out. Of course, the best part of this evening is the many scholarships that will come from this event. And when we see the investment being made for future students at Ole Miss, we can't even begin to calculate what impact that's going to have. If from this evening somebody decides to go into journalism and to see that as their career, I'll be real happy about that. But the best thing is going to be all the students who are going to be able to come to Ole Miss now because of the generosity of all the people who have come to this event and the leadership of the Women's Council, which is unparalleled.